Anything Goes is a competitive Pokemon format where you can use literally anything. Nothing gets banned unless it's something that freezes the game or causes an infinite battle. National Dex Anything Goes is an Anything Goes format where every Pokemon or mechanic from previous games are allowed. That means you have access to every Pokemon, every move that was removed like Pursuit, and Mega Pokemon and Z moves. For obvious reasons, you can't actually play National Dex in-game, and it's mainly for fun on the Pokemon Showdown server. It's a look at what if. What if none of these moves or Pokemon were removed from the game? But National Dex Anything Goes is such a terrible metagame to play that for the first time in Generation 9, they created National Dex Ubers. The community has abandoned National Dex Anything Goes for National Dex Ubers. This is controversial, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. Normally there's an OU, which is standard play, and Ubers, which are the Pokemon banned from standard play, and then Anything Goes, which is for stuff that is too strong for even Ubers. National Dex is already a sub-community of the larger Pokemon Showdown community, and they didn't want to keep dividing it again into Ubers and Anything Goes, so National Dex Ubers never existed. National Dex Anything Goes was good enough. But every decision is a social construct. It's all done because we want it that way. There's no company or profit motive to answer to. If people wanted National Dex Ubers to exist, then it would. But no one ever wanted it before, so it wasn't worth the energy to set up. That changed with Gen 9 because of how ridiculous certain Pokemon are, and because you can't ban anything and Anything Goes, even the National Dex Anything Goes players got tired of it and created National Dex Ubers. First of all is Terra Shedinja. I've talked about it in more detail in this video, but basically Terra Shedinja is pretty ridiculous to try and stop. For example, one strategy is to use Terra Electric, and if you can use Shedtail to pass a substitute to Shedinja holding the air balloon item, then Electric Shedinja can become unstoppable. That's the most famous one, but there are other Terra Shedinja variants too, like variants that are immune to Sandstorm. There are strategies to beat it, like using the move Sandstorm if applicable, or using something like Mold Breaker or Thousand Arrows. In any case though, Shedinja can shut down a lot of the strategies even in the Anything Goes tier because it can neutralize even the most powerful Pokemon. You have to prepare for all the different Shedinja variants because even if you have something that beats one Terra type like Sandstorm, it may not beat the other types. Shedinja is pretty constricting on the strategies that are actually usable in the tier. However, that's not really a big deal. That's what you signed up for when you started playing Anything Goes. The whole concept of Anything Goes is that you should be able to use those strategies. Maybe you don't find it fun that most of the strategies you want to try lose to Shedinja, but then you wouldn't be playing Anything Goes in the first place. Shedinja being crazy in National Dex is the fun part from the Anything Goes lens, so that in itself is not a big deal. But it gets worse. There's also Leopard with Revival Blessing via Assist. Assist is a move that is not clickable in Generation 9, but National Dex lets you use it. If you make your team such that the only move Assist can call is Revival Blessing, you can guarantee to always call it. You would do this by only using moves that Assist cannot call, like Thief. When you do that, you can set up a chain of Leopards using Revival Blessing on each other. Every time one Leopard faints, the other one can use Priority Assist and revive it. The key is that while Revival Blessing only has 1 PP, Assist has 32 and would be the one making the move. It's very difficult to stop that from happening because Leopard is already fast and has that +1 priority. Only a Pokemon like Extreme Speed Arceus, because Extreme Speed has +2 priority, can stop the chain. In theory, with 6 Leopard, each having 32 PP on Assist, you can stall over 150 turns and there are a few things that you can do to stop the strategy. The Leopard strategy aims to stall you out with different techniques. For example, a lot of the Leopards will have Rocky Helmet to get damage on Extreme Speed Pokemon. Ditto's Imposter ability lets it copy Pokemon and do damage that way too. Someone has even reached number 1 with the Assist Leopard strategy, carefully stalling the opponent with a 100-turn Leopard chain and getting residual damage with tactics like Imposter Ditto, Rocky Helmet, and moves like Copycat. They even use the move Thief as a way to cause damage and steal items because Thief isn't callable by Assist. Spending hundreds of turns every game playing against people spamming Leopard will kill your soul. There's actually a lot of nuance that goes into the strategy. The main idea is that Leopard can stall out a lot of Pokemon, and it's about finding ways to get damage on the opponent in between that, and also finding ways that beat the few Pokemon that can stop the Leopard spam. I'll link his full team report in the description below. I'll also link a video by Elo Bandit where he goes in depth into the Revival Cat strategy, as it's called. Anything I say would be just derivative of his research into the strategy. There's a lot that went into it. Also worth noting, Revival Blessing is an assist callable move in the actual game data. Even though assist is itself not clickable in the game, it does have the flag as an assist callable move. So you can't fix the issue by removing Revival Blessing as a callable move. That would go against what the game data is telling you. It's pretty awful to play against the Lightbird strategy, but anything goes, right? This is what you signed up for, to play against these crazy strategies. But all this made it not too fun to play National Dex Anything Goes. Once you get higher on the ladder, every few games would be against someone spamming Lightbird and wasting 100 turns or someone using Shedinja. Then people had this brilliant idea. Don't sign up for National Dex Anything Goes, just create National Dex Ubers. And guess what? It was a relatively popular idea and people flocked to National Dex Ubers. Finally, yesterday, they removed ladder support for National Dex Anything Goes and replaced it with National Dex Ubers. The difference here is that Ubers is allowed to ban Pokemon, and they've already banned the Lightbird strategy, Shedinja, Calyrex Shadow, and also Mega Gengar and Miraidon, which were deemed to be overpowered. They've also banned moves like Baton Pass and Evasion Strategy. This is controversial because now there is no ladder for the true sandbox meta. You can still directly challenge people to National Dex Anything Goes, but you can't play it on the ladder. The sandbox mode not existing is kind of a bummer for people who are just here to play casually and try out random stuff. They would have run into the 100 turn Lightbird spam at some point, but now they can't even have that. There is no completely unrestricted metagame for National Dex anymore. For example, there is physically no place to use Mega Gengar in Gen 9 anymore because it's banned in National Dex Ubers. There is physically no place in National Dex to use Baton Pass either. The main question here is that National Dex Anything Goes or Ubers have never had the intent of being the bastion of competitive Pokemon. So why ruin it for people who just want to mess around with epic Shedinja sweeps, or using their favorite Pokemon Mega Gengar, or trying out minimized Baton Pass strategies? National Dex AG is very much a ladder-based format. A lot more people play the National Dex Anything Goes ladder, and they don't necessarily use Smogon. Even though it's still playable as a challenge format, removing the ladder is effectively killing it. You're inserting competitiveness, whatever that means, where it's not wanted. The counter-argument though is, well, we do want it. The people who are active on Smogon as National Dex Anything Goes players want Ubers to replace it. A lot of the higher ladder National Dex AG players from Gen 8 don't bother playing Gen 9 National Dex AG because it's infested with painful Lightbird and Shedinja strategies. Also, if you do want to use Baton Pass or Double Team, you can play the actual Anything Goes, which is still intact. Everything in National Dex is fake anyway, so there's no obligation to needing a format where you can do anything. The regular Anything Goes will always exist because that's what's possible in the actual games. A common question is why not just have both ladders up? Why do you have to pick one or the other? The problem there would be that it splits the player base even further and it would lead to long wait times on the ladder to get a game from people who basically want to play the same thing. National Dex but with powerful legendaries. From a practical point of view, it really has to be one or the other, otherwise both would be unplayable because you wouldn't actually be able to get games in a reasonable amount of time while searching for a game on the ladder. So what do you think? Should National Dex Anything Goes have the ladder, or should it go to National Dex Ubers? Let me know down in the comment section below.